Just to give a brief outline for today's event, I'm going to share some introductory remarks, and then which will be followed by public relations announcement, and then Niki will share on a day in a life, and then which will be followed by a Q&A session. Then I'll end with upcoming events, an exit poll, and concluding remarks. As some of you might be aware, this week is ACS is sponsoring Chemist Celebrate Art Week. And the theme for this year is reducing our footprint with chemistry. So there's a lot of programs being sponsored by various ACS groups following this theme to reduce our footprint with chemistry. So what is the Younger Chemist Committee? Our vision is younger leaders transforming the world through chemistry. Our mission is to advocate for, develop, and support rising chemists to positively impact their careers, the ACS, and the future of chemistry. There are two ways that you can get involved. You can get involved nationally by attending events at the national ACS meetings. You can also apply for sponsored YCC awards to get involved, or you can get involved locally, such as joining or starting your own local section YCC, or you can attend local section meetings such as this one. You can even get involved with governance and outreach activities. There are some benefits of being an ACS member for those of you that are current ACS members but may not necessarily aware of some of the benefits of ACS membership. So first is career development and networking opportunities, such as free career consulting. You do have access to the Chemical and Engineering News job database, career pathway workshops, ACS webinars, and etc. You can also be involved with groups and committees such as local sections, technical divisions, student chapters, as well as international chapters. You can even attend conferences such as the national meetings, regional meetings, Green Chemistry Conference, which is coming up in June, and other ACS affiliated meetings. And a really good program that's available is the ACS Career Consulting Program, which is hosted virtually every Thursday from 12 to 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And this is a great opportunity for you to connect with career professionals, especially if you really need some guidance on your LinkedIn profile, how to network, how to develop a strong resume, and also if you want to do practice interviewing skills. I mean, I definitely recommend reaching out and for career consulting. The next session will be on April 29th. I'd like to share the survey that was conducted by the ACS. It says, based on interviews with 21 senior executives from the chemical and pharma industry, they've ranked collaboration and communication as the most valuable non-technical skills for scientists. So for those of you in attendance today, we strongly encourage you to develop these pertinent skills so that you can be competitive in the job market. And next, I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight, Niki Milanovic Lowry. She graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University with a bachelor's degree in chemistry. After nearly a decade of career building, she founded Chemcov Consulting to independently guide and educate coding manufacturer in this growing industry. In her spare time, she loves to paint and she loves to spend time with her dogs and her family. So during the session, feel free to use the chat to ask any questions. And also after our talk, we will have a Q&A session. So I guess I'm finished. And also just as a reminder that we will only record up until at the end of our Niki's talk. So you can go ahead, Niki.
Awesome. Thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to share my very unconventional career with everyone. So today I'll be talking about a day in my life of a chemist who had a traditional chemistry career going for her, and took a crazy turn and decided to start a business instead in the chemical industry. So a little bit about myself. As Julian said before, I graduated from VCU with a bachelor's degree in chemistry and a minor in psychology. Right after that, I went to go work for Evonik Corporation in Richmond as a technical service chemist in the paints and coatings business line. And in that role, I really got to learn all there was to learn about paints and coatings. I got to formulate, I got to work with customers, I got to travel the world, and just keep perfecting my craft of formulating paints and specializing in color chemistry and such. Being the curious person that I am, I started to develop this, interest in chemical sales. So I actually took a role with a distribution partner of Evonik's at the time in Florida. So I had the Southeast region. And in that role, I learned how to sell effectively, value selling chemicals. I learned about a bunch of different types of paints and coatings and types of businesses, and learned how to interact and help with businesses of all sizes, because they, run differently depending on how large or small they are. I found a love for working with small to medium-sized businesses and really helping them with their formulations. I helped a lot advising them while I was in my sales role, so much that they kept asking me to come back and spend days with them. And as you can imagine, my sales reports started declining because I was spending so much time with these clients, and my call reports were, kind of dwindling down a little bit. But from that step that I took in my life, I founded ChemCove shortly after. And ChemCove was designed to be a chemical consulting business where I would travel around to all of my clients, helping them in the lab with all of their formulations. It has, quickly turned into something bigger than I even expected. And, I'll get more into that. But so I launched ChemCove in 2018 at the same time that I started working for a startup out of Silicon Valley called Alchemy Cloud. And they are a digital tool for labs for any type of company that is in the chemical industry. And I really learned how to sell a product that no one had any experience with, which is such a hard feat to do. But I got a lot of experience with working very closely with the CEO. And, after a while, ChemCove grew so much that it was time for me to spread my wings and take it on full time. So that was in Florida. And then recently last year, my husband and I moved back to Richmond, Virginia, which is where we're from. And we decided to plant some roots. And I, hit the ground running when we got here. I rented a space. Now we've rented an even bigger space in downtown Richmond because we'll be taking on, contract manufacturing and such. And I have 2 full-time employees, and we're hiring interns, and we're really kind of, growing very quickly. So what do I actually do for a living? I am a formulator. I formulate products, and I love to tell people that formulating products is the perfect balance between art and science. And you have to use both of your brains to really think outside of the box and create this amazing product that nobody has heard of before. And yeah, just to really create something spectacular that your customers are going to love, and they'll keep coming back for more. I love to describe formulating like if I were baking something. Baking is very much a science, and I love to bake. Most chemists do love to bake or cook. But I love to describe it kind of like baking. And when I'm developing products, I'm creating this really great base. So you have like your flour, your water, your milk, whatever it might be. And then I'm adding in different types of additives to make it do what I want it to do. So add a little bit of vanilla, add a little bit of, banana, things like that. But that's kind of how I see paints and coatings. I always start with my base formula, and then I kind of take it from there. And, through all of my different roles that I've been in this industry, I really feel like I took in every single opportunity, everything that I could have done, and it has truly helped me become the formulator that I am, because I know, the sales side, I know the manufacturing side, I know the consumer side because I'm a consumer myself, and from the formulator side. So I have a very unique proposition to the industry with ChemCove Consulting. So ChemCove Consulting, what do? We do a lot of benchmark testing for suppliers that maybe got a new product in and need to test it against the market. So we pretty much test everything here in-house. When we get a new product in from a supplier, we'll run it through all of our standard tests, and that way we can give them a big picture of how their product will perform in the marketplace. What are its weaknesses? What are its strengths? So that's one of the tests that we do run here is benchmarking, root cause analysis of formulation failures. We do this a lot. A lot of our clients have contractors that they work with. So their contractors will come back and say, hey, this failed, and the humidity was really low and it was really hot outside. And so we'll take into account all of the environmental factors and figure out what happened for this formulation to fail. So we really kind of have to dig in very, very deep and do a lot of discovery with our clients when it comes to that, because we need to figure out what happened and how can we not make it happen again. Reformulating current products to meet environmental standards. All of my clients have high VOC products that they're formulating down to be a lower VOC. What is a VOC for those that don't know yet? VOC stands for volatile organic compounds, and it's the nasty stuff in paint products that you really don't want there. But sometimes there aren't very good alternatives. So here we specialize in what we call formulating for the future, and we have to figure out how are these products going to perform the same way, but make them more environmentally friendly. And that's one of our biggest hurdles, because there's not that many products out there. It's getting better. There's new products coming out every day that are more environmentally friendly. But there is a very fine balance with creating an environmentally friendly product and a product that performs really well. So that is our biggest balance to date. Formulation enhancement, these are very quick and easy products. Quick and easy projects. It could be something from enhancing your UV resistance. We would add something called a UV inhibitor in your product that would keep it from fading in the sun and stuff like that. So we do a lot of that with paver sealers, concrete sealers, and any type of exterior products. We also have equipment here that tests that, so we can run it all here. We have an accelerated UV system, so we put these products in and it's being berated by the UV light for however many hours. We usually run around 2,000 hours. And then we also have a salt fog system. So we're really figuring out how does the coating stand to corrosion, and what happens when it's exposed to all of these elements. So a lot of that is what we do in formulation enhancement. Somebody will bring us a product and say, I need this to pass 3,000 hours in the salt fog, and we figure out how to make it work. Our bread and butter of ChemCove Consulting is new product development. We do this about 90% of the things that we do is new product development. So we take our clients' ideas and we build a roadmap with them to how are we going to build a product and get it to market. So those are a lot longer term projects, but it is most of what we do here. And I am going to show you a kind of like a typical day in the life of what my day might look like. But I will say that no 2 days are ever the same when you're running a business. So I have to do things from, supplier meetings, team meetings, brainstorming new ideas, client meetings, reports, researching, EPA restrictions, project management, and also crisis management. At least, something happens every day and you have to put out that fire, whether it is in your lab, not a literal fire, but in your lab, something that happened with a supplier, recently with the Suez Canal, it was a sprint to find an alternative product. So something always comes up and crisis management is always needed. It's like part of the job description of running your own business, in any business, to be quite frank. I always love the saying that entrepreneurs are the type of people that like jump off of a cliff and try and build the plane as, before they hit the ground. And this pie chart is kind of like my mechanism to building the plane before like something explodes. So yeah, no 2 days the same. It's always different. It's always kind of crazy. And we're always really happy when the weekend gets here. So what a typical day might look like for me. Usually I'm up around 7 getting ready for the day. A lot of the times I like to write in a journal what things I need to get done as soon as possible, just so that it doesn't escape my brain. My thoughts run like a mile a minute. So if I don't write it down, sometimes I totally forget about it. We're usually in the office around 8:30. That's when I will organize all of my tasks and my emails. At 10 a.m., we have all of our team meetings. So I have some remote employees and then some employees that are here. So all of our team meetings are, between 10 and 11, and that's where we figure out what's on the docket for everybody for that day. And like I said in my last slide, every day is different. So it's really important for us to have this meeting every day, because some things are more priority than others. At 11 a.m., I usually reserve time for my client meetings and calls. Right now, I only take on about 1 or 2 clients, and my other clients are with my other chemists. So they're really the point for them, the point of contact for them. Around noon, I usually try and eat something, whether it's at my desk or on a walk. We usually take the dogs to the office with us, so they're kind of hanging out in the office, and it's always really nice that they're here because, that means an excuse to get out and take a walk in the middle of the day. So getting fresh air is always very important. Around 1 p.m., I usually do some more emails and some type of project management, whether it's updating a Gantt chart, proposals, whatever it might be, ordering samples from suppliers. Around 3 p.m., I usually reserve the end of the day for any other client meetings and prospective client calls. Usually around 3 or 4 p.m. is when I get, requests from clients that come in that need to be done the next day. So I'll kind of gather all of those then. And around 5 p.m., I usually try and finish up any tasks that I have left over and head home and kind of leave the office at work and go and have, family time with my husband, and do something fun. So that's maybe what a typical day might look like. I would say at least 1 or 2 days a week kind of look like this. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit about like what we do for project management. Most of our project management is done in Excel still. We have looked at other programs like Alchemy, but we're still a little bit too small for anything big. So right now, Excel is working really well for us. So this type of thing is updated every day, so we can see in real time how long our projects are taking us, if there are any bottlenecks, and things like that. So we do this detailed chart for any project that we're doing, whether it's big or small. Our longest projects take, about 18 plus months to finish out, maybe 24 months for a brand new project that's very out of the box. Smaller projects like formulation enhancements, those usually take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. Those are really quick turnarounds. And then the other projects kind of are somewhere in the middle. But new product developments are definitely longer, and it's really important to keep track of them because a lot of the times things can just kind of slip through the cracks. So we're very diligent about keeping track of what was done when and what still needs to get done. And being such a small team, the pros is that we are very agile and we can get things done really quickly. But the cons is that we don't have resources that a larger corporation might have at their disposal. So we really have to use our time wisely and efficiently. And I will open up the floor for any questions. I'm pretty much an open book, so ask me anything.
Thank you very much, Nikolina Milanovic, right? It was a nice talk. So, now we are going to take the questions. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and we can give you the floor to ask the questions, or you can type in the chat box so we can ask the questions to the speaker. All right, so Logan asked, what is the most significant product you have produced?
So we've produced a bunch of different types of products. When you say significant, I'm going to take that as like, what is the most interesting product I've ever produced? We actually just recently launched a one-of-a-kind self-cleaning product for natural stones. And it has this mechanism that when it interacts with rainwater, it actually cleans itself. There's a catalyst in it that helps it clean itself. So what this does is for people with like really nice pool decks that are natural stone and want to keep it looking really, really nice all year long and have really low maintenance, this would be something for them. So it actually doesn't change the look of the product, or the look of the stone or anything. It's absorbed into the natural stone itself. And so any type of dirt, We actually just tested mustard and wine on it the other day and let it rain here, and it, you know, completely comes off. So wine, I mean, that's one of the biggest stain things out there.